This Chief Master Instructor Kenny Smith, Total Force Training Group. Okay, we're going to talk about a few different things here. Tonight, I'm going to make a few separate different videos. The first one is on escalation of a fight. Okay, there are many different ways a fight can start. There are many different things a fight can be motivated for, and there are many different desires of the attacker here. We're going to start with the desires of the attacker first. By attacker, I mean the initiator of combat, not the initiator of hostilities. You can be legally in the right and be the initiator of combat if you didn't start the fight. That doesn't mean you can just call off and hit somebody first, but yes, you can hit first and it still be self-defense. We're going to talk about a few things about that. So the first motivator can be preservation of one's own safety. Okay, that would be very much like the individual reaches in his waistband and you draw your weapon. Say you shot him, you draw your weapon. A reasonable and prudent person might believe there's something in there you don't like. Okay, or perhaps a guy's talking shit, whatever, reaches under his shirt real quick when he grabs you. A reasonable and prudent person would say he's probably not reaching in there, that hands you a $20 tip. All right, he's probably reaching for something, so you pop him in the face, drive him back, hit him with a Fairbairn chain jab, something like that. Another example for that would be, you're in your house. Someone comes in, maybe you see them armed, you initiate combat on them. All right, you didn't start the hostilities, but you certainly initiated combat. Okay. The next motivator that there is for initiating an assault is property. They want your money. They want your watch. They want, your car. They want your car keys. They want your credit card. They want to steal your computer. They want to steal your TV. They want to steal your dog. They don't want to steal my dog, so he'll bite the shit out of him. Okay. That, and then I'll be really, really pissed off. But something like that. They want something of yours. The second one is they want your body. They want to rape you. They want to kill you. They want to rape you, then kill you, then rape you again. They want to rape you, then kill you, then rape you after giving you CPR so they can kill you again. Okay, it's things like that. They want you. They want your body. Your body is why they are attacking you. Maybe they want information. Did you see it? All right. Criminals do this too. Okay. What did you see? What did you not see? Who have you spoke to? Who might know about this? Criminals actually do that too. Okay. More so in organized crime capacity than it is random street crime. But let's say you live in the wrong neighborhood or the wrong city, and hell, there's organized crime in this area. I live in the sticks. Street gangs are organized crime. They are. I mean, they're not as organized as La Cosa Nostra or something like that, but they are very much organized crime. Maybe you saw someone get whacked. Maybe you saw a drug deal and they know you saw it. You may be being assaulted to make sure you don't speak, to find out if you spoke to anybody, things like that. Property, body, information. And I mean, then there's obviously the sociopathic assault. That's just someone that it's just your day. The next one is a target of opportunity. Target of opportunity means maybe you're that person who is just out and about and you happen to look weak and someone thinks, they need one of those other things. Or maybe it's a gang initiation. Okay? You just happen to be a target of opportunity. You're not necessarily targeted, but you're selected off of what's there. Okay? The next thing that I see that motivates a lot of fights is ego. Okay? Ego. If you're in an actual fisticuff fight, odds are it's ego involved. I say that because I've been involved with nightclub security since my 21st birthday. Literally, my 21st birthday was spent standing at the end of a stairwell making sure people didn't rush a DJ. Interesting way to turn 21. Okay? So, and by that I mean officially and unofficially. There's been times where I haven't been, but, it's always been, hey, come hang out. If anything happens, help me out. So I mean, I may not be on the books, but I am nonetheless in that capacity, known to the bartender or something like that. And I'm actually doing that with a friend right now. It's been pretty rough where he's working at, so I'm there watching his six. But anyway, you see a lot of things bouncing. Things that police officers might not get to see because it happens before they get there. It happens before they get the call. And one of the biggest things we see is how a fight progresses. Okay? And in an ego-based fight, which you see a lot of, because alcohol makes everybody's ego and their balls bigger while making their brains smaller. Okay? What does that mean? That means you get more into what you're saying. You say things you probably wouldn't. You do things you probably wouldn't, and you don't think about it as much. Okay. And everybody who's been drunk before knows that. God knows I've got some annotations in my medical record. No, I haven't got in trouble with the law for drinking, but I have got hurt from some of my indulgence on that. But anybody who's been around a drunk knows that. That's why we call it liquid courage. Okay. Yeah, I've been known to call it liquid stupidity as well. But so you see a lot of things progress as that happens, and as working in that capacity, a few things that I've saw are that there's really 3 ways a fight starts. The first one is it's targeted. For whatever reason, this person's pissed off. There's nothing to say about it. They just come up, pow, they got you. The next one is it starts and it goes into posturing, but it uses a feint, okay? What do I mean by posturing? The fucking shit that I can't stand. Why guys do this, I'll never know. Taking the shirt off, then doing this in the fucking mess. Mouth, obviously. And this is all prior to hands going on. For whatever reason, you go, hey man, I don't want any trouble. They say, all right, we're good. Maybe they act like the fight's over. I'll turn around and walk away, and I get sucker punched. Maybe, hey man, it's all good. They turn around and walk away, and then sucker punch me. All right, that happens. I see it a lot, or I did see a lot. I've been bouncing for 2 weeks. Nobody's given us trouble yet, so kind of depressed about that. It's a good thing, but at the same time, I kind of want to hit somebody. At least I'm honest. But, when I was bouncing in Fayetteville, I saw that every time there was a fight. Step away, bang. Either that or someone else step away and then pop them. Sucker punch. So you got an outright assault, a sucker punch, and the last one, the continued buildup of posturing. This keeps going, and this shit keeps going until someone decides they've had enough and swings. Maybe it's a sucker punch, maybe it's visible. Either way, the posturing keeps building. It's not interrupted. So when we look at how these start, we look at why we should understand that from a self-defense perspective. When does the posturing become a threat? My opinion is if I can put my arm out, okay, and take one step, and you're posturing at this point, which is about 8 feet from where I'm standing right now. All right, about 6 feet. About 6 feet. 5, 6 feet, maybe 8 at the longest if someone's being really aggressive. So let's call it 6 feet. If you're within 6 feet of me, and you do that bucking mess, and you take a step in, key words, take a step in. When you initiate to close that gap, now I know, okay, and I know my range. I know what range I can hit somebody. I know what range different people can hit others from teaching martial arts for a long time. But if I know that one step, you put yourself in range, that right there, that's when I'm going to initiate, okay? When you start coming closer, maybe my hands come up. First thing I'll advise is use open hands. Why use open hands? Punch with this. No, wrong. What does this look like? A fight, right? What does this look like? Okay, I'll go ahead. I'll use my actual fighting posture. What's that look like? Don't hurt me. I'm a victim. I'll do you another one. My hands aren't going to move. What's that look like? Interesting perspective from law enforcement there, isn't it? My hands didn't move. They're still in the same spot. Oh, I turned this one out a little bit more. Either way, my hands are relaxed. Okay? Now that bucking comes, step off line, fire in the straight lead. Okay? Whatever. Maybe I don't do that. Maybe the bucking comes in, I attack the knee when they step. Whatever. Maybe the bucking comes in, I'm sitting here, we don't want no trouble, hand flashes the waistband. Maybe I've already took that time to get a preemptive draw because maybe I saw a knife in this guy's pocket. That happens. This isn't just nightclub area. This could be anywhere. Maybe this is a known gangbanger, someone that you know who's trouble. You know, there's any number of things you could do, but if they start getting within about 8 feet, you need to have your hands up. If they get within 6 feet, I can't tell you what it is for you, but to me, any more further aggressive action in my direction, I'll take as a threat and respond accordingly. The next thing that I want to touch on is after the posturing, how do you prevent the sucker punch? Well, there's 2 ways to do that. Number one is, let's say we're here and we're in pretty close quarters. I'm about 7, 8 feet from the camera right now. Okay? And me and you are having some words. Hey man, you know, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. All right, obviously, I'm backing up. Okay? When you tell me you don't want any trouble, I'm going to take a few more steps backwards real quick. So you have to, you know, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe we're at this range here. I'm going to shuffle backwards a little bit. Now you have more room to cover, right? When you take that step back, I'm already moving that way. My hands are still up. What did I not do? Because what happens to me when I do that? Bang! There's the sucker punch, and I didn't see it coming. All right, how do I prevent the sucker punch from coming initially? Well, I just did it. Y'all catch that? I'm standing here, I'm standing square. Okay? When I take my fighting posture, what do? I cut off center a little bit. And that was exaggerated, but in reality, I'll cut off center just a little bit so I can slip all the way really quick while firing that lead if I need to. Maybe it's a punch, maybe it's a paw. Okay? So, if my bag here is my bad guy, hello bad guy. Alright, without you I'd be in jail because it's illegal to hit other people. Alright? I don't want to stand straight in line with it. Okay, and I apologize for the bad angle on that. I also don't want to come over here and stand at a true 45 either. That's obvious what I'm doing. Okay? When me and him are having our words, maybe I step up here to 10. Now we see it's very easy for me to get all the way just by driving off that quad and shifting my body. You know, I can almost go, just by doing that, from punching distance to elbow distance. All right? And all I did was drive and shift. Okay? And you know, if I see somebody dropping their right hand back, most people use their strong hand in the rear. Okay? If he's got his strong hand in the rear, all right? You know, if he steps back with his left foot, I can always, you know, move again. It's another thing. If you're having words with someone, don't be still. Don't stand there and try and do all this with them. You know, I can get away with doing that to certain people when I'm working because I'm a pretty big fella. Not everybody is 6'4" and 260 pounds. You know, it's kind of hard, you know, to get the intimidation factor when you're doing this. Okay? Not necessarily that you want to be intimidating, but there is a time and a place for it. What does that mean? That means if I'm intimidating the threat might not hit me. Now, I didn't say you need to start threatening them, okay? But an intimidating presence goes a long way. First level in use of force continuum. Verbal commands. It's also called command presence, right? Command presence. What's that mean? That means you command respect. You command an air of authority. You run shit, and your presence lets everybody know that. The way you carry yourself does. All right? You don't want trouble? Don't walk in the room like with your head slapped. That don't mean walk in like, you know, you're on the place, but keep your head up. You don't have to look around, but carry yourself like you can handle yourself. You'll have a lot less problems. I promise you. But next thing, fight's already started. You don't want to get into this intimidation deal. Keep moving. Yeah, keep them guessing. Keep them guessing. Whatever you want to do, keep him guessing. All right. That way, when he wants to hit you, you know, you're moving. You're light on your feet. When you plant, my boxing coach told me to stay up on my toes all the time. Okay. If I'm moving, I'm up on my toes. Because he said when you plant your heel, 2 things happen. You just became a tree. Right? You get more power when your heels are planted. You really do. But you just became a tree. Okay? What happens to a tree in a strong wind? It either breaks, uproots, and falls over. Either way, it hits the ground. What happens to a flexible limb? Whips and curves and blows and goes all over the place. And you know, you're good until it just gets to be too damn much. Okay? So if we're moving, even if it's just this little bit, And I'm following a pretty simple pattern. But maybe now, and I'm not cutting angles. I'm not pivoting. I'm just moving. Straight forward and straight back. Straight to the left, straight to the right, but in a random pattern. How hard would that be to hit me? And that's not getting head movement in there. That's just moving my feet. That's just footwork. All right? The video I put up about footwork a while back, that shit's important. When the fight's escalating, that's how you prevent that sucker punch. Get your hands up and start moving. Okay? And don't fall into this. The chest to chest, nose to nose posture. All right? Because what happens then? Shove. And this is actually me and Chief Master Instructor Landis. We'll be bringing up some statistics in Hapkido class the other night. And you know, from being a bouncer, I vouch it. I vouch for it. How do a lot of fights start? Shove, shove, boom, sucker punch. I shove you, you shove me, I catch my balance, and there it comes. And you know what? I'll agree with those statistics. I forget the numbers, but I'll tell you, I agree with it. I do agree with it because I've seen that happen literally hundreds of times when I bounced in Fayetteville. I've seen that happen literally hundreds of times watching my friends fight in high school. I mean, it's irrefutable logic. How does that start? Here. Boom. Part of the posturing. Okay? Next thing I want to keep in mind. When the posturing starts, don't do this. I can't stress this enough. Obviously, now it's a fight. Now it's mutual combat. I mean, both go to jail. Okay? Maybe not in your jurisdiction in here. This jurisdiction, mutual combat. If you're both still trading blows, you're both going to jail. Period. Keep your hands up. Keep them open, loose, and relaxed. Few reasons for that. Number one, when they're relaxed, they're not tense. Tense is slow. Tense is slow. Okay? You don't want to be tense. Tension is not your friend. Okay? Find a systema school. They'll tell you more about that than I will. Okay? You don't want to be tense. All right, for one. All right, because if we're sitting here, okay, and he punches it, and I'm tense, I can't just pocket off anymore. I can't just do, pock south and come in here. Now, I have to be very rigid because I am rigid. Whereas if I'm relaxed, bang! This hand can just flop down over the punch, off your little head move, that bang! Come with whatever I got. Okay? My hands are relaxed, pock south, extend the head, and yes, I actually spun the bag. Catch them, pull them down, head twist, takedown. Their hands come up, I'm nice and relaxed, I'm here, going to joint locking, catching the arm. Any number of things you want to do from there. But if you're tense, you can't do that. You have to stay relaxed. And again, I can't stress enough, this right here, if police or security or whoever shows up beforehand, you're a victim. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want any trouble. You're making it loud and obvious. You don't want any trouble. Now, I don't want any trouble, and yelling it as loud as you can is probably going to escalate the problem. But look, man, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. What do you want? I don't want any trouble at all. That's going to make you look very, very, very well when push comes to shove later. And I mean that pun very much intended. So, again, just to kind of go over, touch over. The various motivators of the fight, I put those out there earlier, or an assault rather. What motivates it being what motivates the initiative of combat? The difference between initiating combat and initiating hostilities. All right, I've covered the three most common ways that hostile incidents occur, and we'll go over those one more time. Extended posturing, bucking, maybe a shove gets thrown, whatever. This shirt comes off, this crap, a lot of mouth, then the fight. The second one is the hostility. The posturing is broken. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. That's followed by a sucker punch. Okay. Maybe I'm the aggressor. You tell me I don't want any trouble. Man, bang. Maybe it's like I don't want any trouble. You good, dog? You good? And there we go. Okay. Sucker punch. That's number two. Number three is an outward assault. Maybe. Let's say I'm the bad guy, and maybe I saw you looking at my woman wrong or something, and I just walk up to you and bust you in the back of the head. Okay, that's the other way they can be initiated. The last thing I talked about was when the posturing starts. What can you do to? Obviously, we know to de-escalate. Okay, we know to de-escalate the fight if at all possible, using any and all means available to de-escalate the fight. including retreating. Okay, but in the event that maybe you can't retreat or your de-escalation quits working, you need to look at ways you can be a bit more preemptive and preparing for that sucker punch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll do a few more tonight. And hopefully I'll get a training partner out here to beat up and do some weapon retention things with that training gun I got over there. Alright, I'll talk to you later on. Stay frosty. Watch your six.